Alright, that's enough of that. And lots of drop frames. Sorry, we're still downloading Cyberpunk. Internet being slow. But we'll do what we can. Alrighty. So yes, until Cyberpunk loads, it is going to be very, very patchy. There is not much I can do about that. Alrighty, that's one. That's two. Oh, that's a notification of another audio glitch. We need some background music. What can we do for background music? Where'd my mouse go? There it is. Ah. Here's another ping for drop frames. I'll bring you guys in on what I'm doing right now. Right. That one. I don't need to see the Twitch count at the moment. almost ready. For those who are watching, as you can see, I have taken down the green screen. But yeah. Come on, where are you? There's that one. Alright, that's done. That's all done. Set for Ninja. Alrighty. So, video check. Do I have audio? Dum de dum de dum de dum de dum dum. Okay. Hello YouTube. Right. YouTube has audio. Sorry, that's Facebook. I can't tell the difference between my tabs. Alright. Do I have audio? Does Facebook have audio? Yes, it does. Okay. Why am I streaming at 720p? That's not what it's set to. Did I only actually stream for 5 hours last night? Wow. Alright. Is Trovo working? 720p. Yep. Is D-Live working? Come on, D-Live. D-Live, can you hear me? Or can I hear you? Is Trovo working? 720p. Yes. Yep. Alright. Is D-Live mute site? In fact, that's source, so I'm going to have to pause D-Live. Ooh, someone poked me. Oh, courtesy is to poke him back. Alright. So, ooh. I don't need that anymore. A little cheap HDMI matrix switch. That can be shelved for later. Okay, for those people who just wrap your cables up, here's a bit of a tip from the sound tech industry, and it's relevant for all cables, everything that has a big thing inside a little thing. Not so much for poly rope that you buy from Bunnings, like the plasticky stuff, but pretty much everything else. When you do that, you're making a half twist. Okay, so that is now a whole twist, which means eventually you end up twisting the rope or the cable. I'll show you what happens over time. So over time, what was a nice smooth power cord becomes that. So that's the core inside twisting over and over again. Now what eventually, it may just look interesting, but you got to remember what's happening inside is that it's anchored at both ends. So if you imagine my arm is anchored at this end and this end, right, and do that, and do that. It's a little less comfortable. Then do that. Now try and go one further. All right. So we're going. Let's say we're going from here. Then we go to there, to there, to there, to there, to there. That's doable. To there. I challenge people who aren't double jointed to go one further than that without breaking something. And that's literally what happens with the cable. Keeps going like that until something either in the middle or at the end breaks. Cord gets yanked, the plug gets yanked off, or the cable breaks. Hey Derek, thank you for popping in. Welcome. I'm just giving a public service announcement about cable management, cable rolling techniques. So yeah. So what you do now, you can't stop it twisting because unless you just leave it permanently straight. So what you do is the next best thing to not twisting it at all is to twist it opposite ways each time. So what you do is you do one like this, and you can actually look up like cable rolling, mic rolling techniques and stuff. Hey Brindle. Yeah, it's not actually double jointed, just loose jointed. Yeah, why is it down there again? I fixed that last night and it unfixed itself. There we go. Alright. So, like that. I'm going to check on Cyberpunk, see how it's going. It depends on how the double joint works. Alright. Move that. So, my gaming PC, the Bulldozer, the old gaming PC, is at 54% for Cyberpunk. The new one is at 83%. Whichever one finishes first, that's the one I'm going to play on. We're just killing time until then. So, yeah. Hey, Josh. Thanks. Hey, is it people last night, because normally you see me like this, and I had a camera up here. Last night I did a test. Brindle knows about it because he was here. I did a test. I actually streamed on Twitch with one camera through one computer and a very similar overlay, but I did that on this camera over here, and then I had the camera that we're looking at now was pointing across that way, and then a second actual mobile camera identical to this Logitech. These two, so I have two Logitech ones. Dad bought them, and when he stopped needing them, he said, "Oh yeah, I guess." When I said, "Can I have?" So yeah, and so doing that for the building of the computer, which meant that people had a profile look, and they saw this, and some people were shocked to see the boof at the back, because normally when I don't have headphones on, this is how I live. It's actually longer than. When it's shorter, it actually goes into a full fro. Like, I at one point, when Guy Sebastian became famous, I had a fro just before he became famous. And people were like, "Oh, did you get that because of Guy Sebastian?" I'm like, really? So I found out what he looked like. I went back in time 12 months just so I could grow my hair longer to look like him. I have NBN. It's not that great, but the problem isn't at my end. The problem is at their end. So they're not actually competing. Like, if I was downloading... The thing is, I'm downloading it off GOG because I couldn't afford to buy 2 copies of it. If I bought, like, one off GOG and one off Steam, not only would I have a copy to gift someone, but I could download off Steam servers, which would be way faster. I'm guessing that people who have Steam could buy the game now saying, "Oh, it's released, let's buy it now." And then that'd be it. Like, that'd be done. Alright, in fact, now that it's been released, I wonder... Oh, the wallpapers are up. The source book is up. The soundtrack is up. 3.2 gigabyte soundtrack. Online. Ah, yes. So this game is 104 gig. Yeah. So yeah, 104 gig. It's not small. So yeah, the problem's not at my end. I need to install that on this one. Windows doesn't trust GeForce Experience. Okay. Yeah. Australia's internet's crap. I mean, let's face it. They screwed that over when they went from fibre to everyone to fibre to some people who were in good electorates, and everyone else can just use their old cable TV system, which is like 40-year-old optical fibre. Yeah. But the thing is, if you had 12 to 1 shared between 7 rooms of optical fibre NBN like they have in Macquarie Park in some places, you had no problems whatsoever. The thing is that only a very small amount of places actually have that. Because in Macquarie Park, they had optical fibre for the entire place 30 years ago when it became a tech park. And then they just kind of updated the trunk line. And then when a new apartment gets built, they just put in a whole bunch of optical fibres into that building. Whereas with us, they went, well, you've already got cable TV. So you've technically got an optical fibre going down the street. We're just going to take off that the same way with the 4 coax things. It's like, yeah, but that's coax. And that one optical fibre was designed to send one set of information of multiple channels, but one set of information to thousands of houses. And you now want to have two-way communication with every one of those houses? It's like with every set of 4 houses? How is that actually going to work? How is that going to be enough space? And that's what they've realised did not work. So yeah, that's the difference between fibre to the node, fibre to the... Oh, yeah, that's why I had it big, because... it doesn't like... I can't change that. Hang on, can I? Transform... If I go into properties, sorry, just changing the chat size. Width? What happens if I change the width? That's better. Now what you type won't go off the edge. Yeah. Well... So no, crappy old copper isn't. Crappy old copper isn't the same. Hang on, did I just load? This is a haphazardness of what I was doing last night. Where'd that other keyboard go? I couldn't find a third keyboard because I'm running like the streaming computer, the old gaming computer, the Bulldozer, which was doing Twitch, and then I had this thing. So I literally just found a box with a keyboard in it. Turns out the keyboard is not only wireless, which not ideal, but it does have a built-in mouse, which is nice. But you see that thing there? The bastard's infrared. So if I'm not facing perfectly at the receiver, it don't work. So are we on? Are we on? Yes, we're on. Okay. Control J. Let's just open up that folder. Okay, install that. Wait, have I already installed it? Alright. Next. I'd show you what I'm doing, but I don't have OBS installed. Yeah, HFC, hybrid fiber coax. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's basically, for those who aren't aware, in Australia, all of our paid TV system pretty much was done with a hybrid between fiber and coaxial cable. So optical fiber, glass fiber with light coming down the middle. Coaxial cable is the hardcore with a white plastic sheath, and then mesh insulation sheath around that, and then rubber coating, like basically insulated coating on the outside. A shield sheath, not insulation sheath. The mesh was a shield. So yeah, it's basically splitting one optical fiber between a myriad of people, which, as you can imagine, would be problematic. So basically, we had that as our method of doing all pay TV, all non-free-to-air TV, and then that was fine when we've never had hundreds of channels. We've had a maximum of like 60, 70 channels, and then that became obsolete, obviously. So they decided to repurpose it for use in our national internet infrastructure, because the company that is responsible for it, Foxtel, went, oh, we've got this asset, we have lobbying power with the government, where our asset is becoming worthless already. Why don't we convince the government to basically buy it off us and use it in their internet infrastructure? Which was a dumb move. Like, I am aligned with that side of politics. Everyone who's aligned with that side of politics agrees pretty much. It was a dumb move. Surprising that we screwed that one up. That was basically, but then again, not surprising because it was lobbyists at work. So corporatism. It's the example of when capitalism runs away from the good people. Okay, so that can go down there for later. So basically, yeah, that meant that what was meant to be fibre to everyone became fibre to some. What good gatekeeping of the internet. And so now everyone has crap internet, because what they did was they did that, but they also then said, we're cutting everything back. So they had big trunk line for future proofing, but also for like carrier infrastructure, for other stuff, was all big, like literally, like not physically big, but as in if you imagine bandwidth size, we went from copper, like lots of copper, out to copper, like that, thin. We are now going to optical fiber trunk line, going to coax out. So coax is more capable in copper than the old copper twisted pair, but not by much. And then the optical fiber here. But what they were doing was they were going to have a big trunk line that then everyone got a fiber, not fiber coax, but this was the size of each person's, then a big trunk line that carried it all along the middle. And what they then, but then they went to that. Now the thing about that is not only would everyone have had a better internet, but it also meant new estates could have it, and mobile phone towers could use it, but now mobile phone towers are creating more wireless noise because they're actually, like the mobile telcos are saying, this is ridiculous, we're not paying to use this crap. So they're literally just putting wireless point-to-point repeaters, that basically two dishes that point at each other, and that's how they're sending their signal across Australia, because the cabling system is so crap. And there are literally council areas in Australia that have gone to NBN Co, the government-created company that installs all this NBN infrastructure, and said, we'll pay you an extra 10, 15 grand. Do not give anyone HFC. Everyone in our council is getting fibre. But each council has to negotiate it individually. And our council, with my good friend the mayor, yes, I do know him personally, and I am running this next election because, yeah, he didn't do anything. They didn't do it at all. So, yeah. So Brindle says, I used to install it when I worked for a subsidiary of that company. Mal Turnbull was the fault because he was good mates with the Telstra CEO. Yeah, pretty much. It was all lobby and backroom. Where's the thing about 16? Oh, yeah. He was the idiot back when he was the Minister for the Communications who turned around and said we don't need more than 6.5. So one of the things about Australian politics is that we don't have a two-party system. We have a multi-party system. So the benefit of that is that it's not you vote for this guy, you vote for this guy, or your vote's dead. We have every seat in Parliament is done by a 51 preference, or 50 plus 1 preference. So all this electioneering issue, all this fraud issue in America, completely impossible in Australia's system at the moment. Other than gerrymandering, we're almost immune from it all, because we have a very simple ballot that is hard copy, and everyone has hard copy. Every ballot is accounted for. It's very simple because you've got a box that big for each candidate, and you get a how to vote card that tells you which candidate, like which your suggested thing, if you for your party's suggested way of voting, like the order of the numbers. But you basically have a box this big for each one, and you put a number in each box. Now, federal elections, you have to put a number in every box. State elections for the little paper, which is the upper house, the equivalent of Congress. For Senate, we have a big piece of paper, and you have a line, and if you go above the line, it means you're supporting that party, and they'll just do their thing. And if you just do one above the line, then it means you're giving that party the right to fill your ballot in. But if you do like 1, 2, 3, it means you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and like, well, in order of the thing. But that's the big sheet for the Senate, and then the little sheet. But the reason we have that system is because basically what they'll do is they'll count all the ballots, and then they'll put them in order of who has the most ballots to who has the least ballots. And then they'll go, does anyone hit the threshold? Now, our threshold isn't 270 Congress people because we don't have a president. Each person is in their own little electorate, or the state elects Senate seats. So for the Senate, they'll say, all right, with this number of people in the state, each seat require, like the first seat will require this many people. So they go, has anyone reached that threshold? Yes. Okay. Then that person's first in. Then they'll take all those ballots. They'll take the number required. So if you need 50,000 votes to get into Senate and your party has 270,000 votes, then the first person in your party gets in, and then they take out 200,000, the first 200, first 50,000 of your party votes, and then the other 220 is left. And then they'll go, all right, well, you've got another, and then you've got another, and you've got another, until you get down to that 20, or until you run out of candidates. If you only got 2 candidates, then you go down to 170, and the other 170 then go into a preference system. But if you have 200, if you have leftover, then they go to the next number that isn't part of your party, and all the votes get handed to that person as preferences. And in the little thing, what they'll do is, does anyone have more than half? So 50% plus 1 vote. No? Okay. Who has the least votes? Right. Go through every one of their ballots and find the next number. So if they, obviously the first time everyone has a 1. And so go take, like, you don't write on it, but you effectively strike the 1 off, and then you go, the 2 is there, the 2 is there, the 2 is there, and you sort them all out. And then you go, all right, does anyone have 50% plus 1? No? Okay, who has the least? And you keep doing that until someone reaches the threshold. What that means is you'll have the major political party in... Oh, NBP. Sorry, Josh, I got distracted and didn't see your post. I don't know what NBP means. NBN. I think, is that what you meant? NBP versus NBN? NBN National Broadband Network. Sorry. Just finishing the install of OBS. Okay. Create a folder. So yeah, basically that means that you can have a majority of the party, a majority of the government made up by one party, but in the minority can have almost everyone else, and then a couple of minor parties. Josh has said in Facebook, don't you mean NBP, November Bravo Papa? I was like, I'm not sure what he means. Was he correcting me from NBN? Not MVP. No, that's different, yes. But yeah, so the consequence of that is you might not actually have a party elected to government. You might not have a party that has majority. What you'll find is you'll have a majority and a minority, and then they have to the majority has to wrangle with the smaller parties for them to actually support them as government. And they have to basically say, look, we'll give you this, like, they'll say, we'll pass this, we'll put this bill forward for you. We'll put this bill forward for you if you throw your support behind us so we can run government. Of course, if no one can get government, they have to redo the whole election. Okay, installed. Oh, no. Infrared, not visible. So let's try that again while holding it up. So this is all the files that I've just downloaded. I'm going to put this over here. Oh, cable's going everywhere now. And once I've installed them, move them into shiny table. The mouse doesn't like the shiny table. Let's put a piece of paper under it. So yeah, that's our election system. And it makes it immune to all of that stuff. I can't remember where I was getting to that from there, but basically, how did I get to the election paper thing? Yeah, it was a very long time. But oh yeah, that's right. So we don't have that issue, but what we still have an issue with on both sides is that we have the backroom politics and the power brokers that'll go around the party shoring up support, which is why there's this joke that our Prime Minister changes more often than the weather in Melbourne, because the weather in Melbourne changes on a half-hour basis sometimes. And part of the reason that is because you can still get all these weird, wacky people voted in that'll then manipulate the party room to put their preferred candidate forward. And Turnbull was one of those power brokers, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. Yeah, last time in Parliament 1940. Sounds about right. Alright, so did I install Opera? O-P. No, I didn't. I'll leave that for later. I'll just get what I need installed. I haven't had breakfast. Guessing I can't play. I'm still waiting for it to finish downloading, to be honest. So you can't actually see it. I don't want to move that camera. Yeah, Malcolm Turnbull. And he was right, that's for sure. Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna lift it up and do it. No. That's the new gaming rig set up last night on stream. You can watch the previous stream if you want to see. But yeah, that's what's been set up. So that is my new gaming rig, and it is my new gaming rig, not a lend. Although some of the components are given, but yeah. So that is what I did last night. And I still have to install things on it, such as NDI, OBS and NDI, so that you can actually see what's happening on it. Because now that I've done that, you should... Okay, why did that not come up? So what, is there people can't play? Are people having trouble playing? Is that what you're saying? What's happening, Atomic? I thought I saw some people playing it on early release or something. Alright, installing. The application. Oh, that's not the actual... So now I've got to go to NDI. No. Probably most anticipated game of the second half of the year. You mean this year or next year? By the time we can actually play it. Yeah, oh, there was a meme about, there's a meme that was, I saw it the other day. It was, basically it was the whole amateurs thing. And it was basically, Cyberpunk next to Halo. And Cyberpunk's like, yeah, game's coming up. And Halo's just like, yeah, okay, fine. And then it was Cyberpunk and Bungie. And Cyberpunk was like, yeah, game's coming up. And Bungie just, amateur. And then Halo from the distance. And then you see Halo go, what was that? Amateurs. And then you see, I can't remember the next game, but then another game goes, you think they're amateurs? And then you just see Gordon Freeman going, come on, really? Alright, accept the agreement so I can, okay, so it's I don't know what's going on here. Browse. So I've installed the NDI stuff. But it's not loading with OBS. So I can't show you the screen. Yeah, I don't have a VR headset. That's one of the things I want. But I need a bigger room. I need a better place. Oh, it wants me to restart that computer. I think I'll restart once it finishes downloading because I don't want the download to get stuck. It's already at 90%. So, yeah. What was I doing on that other than that? Oh yeah, that's right. So for those of you who aren't aware, NDI is made by NewTek. It's a protocol for sending display and AV through a network. It's used officially, it's officially compatible with OBS, with Streamlabs, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that instead of having to get one of those Elgatos, you can now literally just send it across the network. It's great. I have the Elgato too, which is good for PlayStation or whatever if I ever set that up, because make a sandwich and some coffee. That sounds like a great idea. Because I went to bed at 4:30, having set this to start downloading, because that's how long it took me. My plan was yesterday morning. I did my Bible study quiet time thing, and then I was going to go to Moorebank to pick up a microwave, because I got a microwave from Grays, Grays.com. I'm not promoting them, sponsoring them, but that's where I get my cheap stuff from. It's like eBay, except that everything goes through them, so they test it all and stuff. So instead of you and another person, like they want to sell, you want to buy, they put it up, you bid on it, and then hope that it's not crap. Everything actually gets given to Grays, and then they manage the entire site themselves, which is it's very much more of a business thing as opposed to it's a commercial thing as opposed to a retail thing, but that has its benefits. But so you get like businesses that are shutting down or removing or changing premises or something, and they just want to get rid of a whole bunch of stock. So like you get the microwave from a kitchenette, or you can even get like the entire shelving system and bench system from a professional commercial kitchen. Like you get those $30,000 glass windowed, glass doored fridges and stuff for like $100. And so, which I would get if I had like a place to put it that I wasn't expecting to have to move out of. Why does it do both of them at the same time? It's weird. I guess it hit the threshold at the same time, but it's not meant to do them at the same time. It's meant to spread them out. Anyway, so basically, I bid on a microwave, and so for $20 I got a very nice Samsung microwave, which is like this much bigger on each side. Like it's not going to fit in the hole in the kitchen here that is designed for a microwave, because the thing has a little hutch above the oven, and it doesn't fit there. So we're going to have to figure out somewhere else to put it. But basically, come back from that on the way back, pick up the graphics card that was brand new yesterday. When you worked in a PC shop last year, we used Grays when customers were looking for second-hand systems such as all-in-one computers, but didn't want to have it's great for that, especially if you're a computer store where you do repairs and service, because they'll have things which are like service failed, which means it got brought in, like they bring in a bunch of stuff, and some of it just doesn't pass test. And instead of saying it didn't pass test because it wouldn't turn on, or it didn't pass test because there's a crack on the screen, or dead pixels on the screen, or it didn't pass test because the cable between the monitor, the internal cable between the monitor and the unit of a laptop was sheared, which is like something that you cost a $30 part to replace. They just say service failed. So then you pick up 50 or 30 laptops that are premium laptops for $400, do a $30 repair job on each of them. You got pretty much refurbished systems that you can sell to customers. Like some really good bargains you can get out of it if you know what you're doing. But yeah, so the idea was go there, do that. On the way back home, I was going to stop at the police station because I've got to put in my ID for a police criminal background check or whatever. for doing like delivery driving with Drive Yellow and stuff like that. Drive Yellow, Uber Eats, Sherpa, all that stuff. So at the moment, Uber Eats is the only one I'm allowed to drive with, because the others are all like, you can't do anything until you have your background check come back. Oh, it's up. It's ready. Okay. Reboot the computer. And then update and restart. So yeah, get on the way back, stop, pick up the graphics card, which is now in there, 1660 Ti. It's literally the best one in stock below $1,000, pretty much across Sydney. Oh, sorry. Wrong gaming category. Well, the reason that I'm not playing, I've been asked to change the category to chit chat. One, I didn't even know there was a chit chat category on Trovo, so thanks for letting me know. Two, the game is about to start. I'm just restarting the computer. Why is Notepad even open? What is Notepad doing? Oh, yes. Office key. And that won't work because it's got to face that way. Alright, now. Why are the logos so large? Update and restart. And then we will actually be running. So yes, thank you for jumping in and letting me know that. I will be streaming within the next probably 5 minutes. Good to know there's actually a chit chat channel, because I spent 20 minutes searching. Even I type in chat and chit chat doesn't come up. Oh no, there it is. It's there. Alright. Alright, there we go. I've changed it to chit chat for Trovo. Restarting computer. So, what was I saying? Get on the way back, stop at the police station to do that. Then grab graphics card, come home, do a stream of building the rig before 6 PM last night, because that's when I normally stream Roblox on Wednesday nights from 6 till 10. And then go to bed, get up early, refreshed, ready to do this. I got home at 5:30 after all that. Yeah. I got home at 5:30 after that. You make me a hot chocolate as well. And then after... so by the time I got all the streaming set up with the cameras and that, because I needed to test this thing with Twitch and see how they react to me streaming 2 cameras in the same room. If you want, I can explain that. It's about the affiliate status thing. Or you can just, like, if you want to just... I'll probably clip from the previous video once I find out whether I get barred. Basically, we'll find out within the next couple of weeks whether I breached their affiliate terms, because they're very ambiguous as to what... There's a 24-hour hold. Whatever you stream on Twitch, 24 hours wait before it's allowed to be streamed, used anywhere else. Like, they have exclusive rights for the first 24 hours. But I asked them to explain how that, like, what that meant. Like, does that mean if you stream on Twitch, what you streamed on can't be, like, obviously if you stream a video on Twitch, you can't download that video and upload it to YouTube within 24 hours. But how far, like, if I'm playing a game and the overlay of that, or let's say, for instance, if I am streaming and then over here I have that stream on a second monitor, like just Twitch on that monitor, and then I have a webcam back here just watching that monitor but picking up my audio, and then that streaming to YouTube, is that technically a different broadcast and therefore not violating their affiliate terms? what if I have stereoscopics, like from VR, and the right eye is to YouTube, and then the left eye is to Twitch, and I use 2 separate mics? That's technically 2 separate streams. What if I'm streaming the exact same thing, but it's coming from 2 separate computers, and so therefore it's 2 separate feeds? Like, same, like, as in I've got a gaming computer that feeds into a streaming computer that then takes it. What if I had 2 streaming computers taking the same feed from the gaming computer, and one streams to YouTube, one streams to Twitch? Is that actually... because it's still 2 separate streams, technically. So, how does that work? And so I did that with the 2 cameras, and we'll see if anything goes wrong. If I get bumped out of affiliate status, then, oh well. Because I don't really like it. I'm already thinking of dispensing with affiliate status on Twitch, even though that's the only way I'm really making money. I'm not making that much. But, is that ready yet? Are you loading? Alright. Let's do this. Okay. So, yeah. I did that. And I finished at 2 o'clock. Doing all the actual hard building. There's meant to be fans, case panels and all that on this, on a second hard drive at least. At the moment it's just literally CPU, motherboard, CPU, RAM, graphics card, SSD. That's it. Oh, and power supply. But that's all I put in the case, because that's what I need to get Cyberpunk going. Cyberpunk update installed. OneDrive, I don't want you running. Settings. How do I tell it not to start when I turn the computer on? There we go. Start OneDrive automatically when I sign into Windows. Okay. That is now turned off. Close OneDrive. So now. What the heck is that? Meet now. I have no idea what that is. Alright. So if I run OBS, do I have NDI? Maybe I installed the wrong thing. How do I install NDI into OBS? OBS NDI plugin. Is that what I installed, or did I install the wrong thing? I don't know. I got so distracted I forgot to finish actually explaining the cable rolling thing. And I have another cable I need to roll for my desk, for my ring light, so that's a good thing. Sort of. Good thing for me. Not for anyone who doesn't care about cable management, but you should care. So basically, as I said, every time you make a loop, it's a half twist. So the trick is to do the half twist the same way each time. So, like I said, that makes a half twist. Then the second time, you go the other way. Now, it's hard to do this in front of a camera like this, but you go one way, like that, and then one way, like that, and one way, if I do it from the side, it's probably easy to see. One way, like this, and not tight. You don't do it tight. You just casual loops. I'm just doing it small because it's a tiny cable. One like that, then one like that. And so one's looping that way, one's looping that way. So one's looping that way, one's looping that way. That way, that way, that way, that way. And so it doesn't actually fully twist. But of course the problem is that I'm doing it from the wrong end because this isn't moving, so I'm inadvertently twisting it. So I'm going to start from this end. But yeah. So we're partly seeing how, alright. Okay, so I did that wrong. Alright. O B S N D I space P for plugin. Yes, that's what I want. While I roll this properly. You're back. Welcome back. I just finished off that explanation about cables, and now I'm rolling up the cable for my JB Hi-Fi cheap-ass ring light, which I would return if it wasn't over a month since I bought it. I got it along with my GoPro for CPAC. Not that I was going to use this at CPAC, but I've got the GoPro thing and figured, yeah, I might as well. Alright. Heck, this tripod's better. Okay, let's just twist, tie... Oh, nah, rubber band. Stuff it. Alright, so that's the ring light done. That can go up there with the camera stuff that I need to put in this big case. Alright. That's out of the way. Now, OBS NDI plugin. I think it's because I installed like just a random NDI thing as opposed to... Or is it? No, I think that's actually what I installed. NDI runtime. Oh no, that's not what I did. OBS NDI. So NDI runtimes are very different. Your game stuck 57. What does 57 mean? I'm confused. I am literally about to run the game. I'm just getting the video stuff because it's on a different computer than the one that the stream's on. I'm getting the video stuff working. So yeah. So NDI filter, a special OBS filter that outputs at the parent OBS source. Only works with video capture source only. Oh, that's how to do it. All right. I had the bulldozer set up to do the OBS transfer, but then when I set it up for Twitch streaming yesterday, it changes certain things, and once doing that, I couldn't get it to then start streaming to OBS again, and I thought I might have broken it, but it looks like that's not the problem. So if I go... Here's the other camera. So if I put a filter in there, I don't even know how to put a filter in. NDI source, yes. NDI output. How do I do a filter? Where'd the mouse go? Color source. Alright, are you done yet? Alright, so we'll run this. Because I can't show you what I'm doing, because, you know, like, this is the OBS bit that shows you what. I can't show you installing the thing that allows me to show you what I'm doing. Yes. So the runtime's what I just installed. I'm not going to do that in lowercase. So it's capital O B S space N D I. Enter. And install. And now it needs to download 10 meg. Why? Alright. Oh, filters. Alright. Okay, so... main will be hide that and then add and make a new scene, big game screen, enter. Right, add a source of display capture, create new, called gaming screen, make the source visible, display 2 is the wrong one, I want display 1. Yes. Okay. Then I have to put a filter on it. Add an effect filter called dedicated NDI out. Is that the one I do? Okay. Bulldozer NDI out. Apply changes, close. So now if I go to waiting room, yahoo! Alright, okay, now I know that works. Not that it matters. Okay, you done? Okay, good. Okay. Alright, done it. Okay. Open file location. Have to uninstall that. Otherwise it'll get confused. Alright, and then go there. Basically, having accidentally downloaded and installed NDI runtime, I then find out that OBS plugin does it itself and I don't want to have 2 iterations of it on the computer, so uninstall the original standalone one. Yes, install, finish. Okay, so now wants me to restart the computer. Sure. Shouldn't take too long. Alright. Minimize that. You know what, I'll throw that over there. So main indented mirrored. That's not what it's meant to look like. Transform, reset transform. Why is it being like that? Because it's 720p. Why are you 720p? Tools, NDI output settings. So that should be source. Properties. Center on screen. Transform, edit, transform. 1920 by 1050, 1080. And I need water. 0 high, 0. There we go. Done. That's better. Alright. For some reason it had decided to put it as a 720 size. Alright. So that's done. Okay, so that's restarting. This is the system that I just got. So that provided to me. I don't know what that means. Superseded. Yeah, okay, it's out of date. Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't actually finished one of the things that it was downloading. I'll check if it's actually like NVIDIA. And oh, actually, first I'll set up OBS so you can actually see what I'm doing. Allow access. Add a scene. Add a source. Display. No, not game capture. See, I could do that, couldn't I? Yeah, display capture. Okay, capture cursor. Then I'll do filter. Add a filter of dedicated NDI output. And we will call it gaming. A game rig display 1, because one thing I've learned both from IT support and also from programming is documentation. Even actually from like physical, like as a technician, like actually making cabling equipment, documentation is key. So now I will copy that and I will paste it there and apply changes and close. Alright. So now, so this is the system. Alright, Asus Prime, Corsair Vengeance, Western Digital Blue, not yet in there. Crucial, that's the C drive. And so at the moment, like, I don't have that in there. These are all that I've got. That and that. And that. But yeah, we're gonna switch over if it'll, oh, wrong mouse. If it'll work. We have a new NDI source. Okay, and we'll call it, what did I call it? Game rig display 1. Add the source, which will be that one. There we go. So Okay, looks like it didn't run. Alright. Yes, of course. Agree and install. Yep, I've installed Chrome. I don't need both of them. Done that one. Downloading updates. While we wait. Options. Because I like to talk I like to talk proper. Sure, why not? Yeah, okay, maybe having both of them downloaded at the same time is not such a smart idea. Speaking of which, yeah, it's fine. Alright. How to do this? I need to connect that TV back up to this other gaming computer so that, to the old rig. I'll just be around here. Don't mind me. Just need to migrate over all the controls. Control. No lives left. If you don't play Destiny 2, then you're missing out, and you won't know what that's about. HDMI. In. Turn on. Is it turn on? Yep, that's on. Okay. Something fell. Run that over. Whew. Okay. Close that for now. And back to that. If I can remember the password. Yes, it's annoying that these are infrared. But I do have 4 more of them if anyone wants it. Oh, you have to have a PS2 connection for it to work. Because the plugs at the other end are not USB. There's 2 PS2s that need to. But if you want one, let me know. I'll send it to you if you cover the cost of shipping. And if you're on the moon, it's just going to be really expensive.
I made a new friend.
Hello, you made a new friend.
Yes, made a new friend.
Out of clay or wood? Hey Randy, thanks for the like.
Oh, probably had a Randy here. Oh, did you see my messages? How I said that you don't have NBN, you have NB
No, I didn't
NBP.
see it. Oh, that's right, you're Bates.
Yes, my
I
bro.
forgot your last name. I'm like, who is Josh? No. What does NBP mean?
National
Remembering
bickering
this is the
politician.
Okay, no, yeah.
Yeah, no. I seen. National bickering politician. Politic.
Well, given that I'm planning on actually entering into politics but not being a politician, so to speak, yeah, I'll go with that one.
Yeah.
Alright, so NVIDIA login. What is the password?
Nice.
It is. What the heck did I do that for? Oh, it's going to be fun to type. Okay, so it starts. Okay, I'm going to make it so that I can see. You right there?
No.
Alright, so hash is the first character.
So I've just finished downloading Call of Duty Warzone, I think it is. Yeah, Warzone.
I just typed that whole thing, but holding it up here, like I said, infrared. So it needed to point that way for it to work. It got 4 characters, and they weren't the first 4. Alright, let's try that again. Hash. So are you doing that through your speakers, or are you just trying to see how deaf you can go?
Oh, can you actually hear it?
Yeah.
My bad. Dialogue. Adjust the volume, voice over.
No, I heard the bullets as well.
Oh yeah, I haven't
Everything
even.
is
I've
loud.
only. Oh yeah, I've only just started. On this, like as in.
What do you mean invalid?
Options, graphics. Ooh, yuck. Unlimited. There we go.
You know what? Let's do it this way.
But choose between different camera.
Log in with Google.
Option specific. No. Where's that delusion stuff? What's it called? Oh! You alright? That better be not of my coke. Huh? Ah!
Yep, forget whether they're injured, just as long as it's not your coke. You know, before you joined, I had 4 viewers. Now I've got 1. What have you done to me?
I wouldn't have a clue. Motion blur world. Oh, hang on. Oh, be quiet, game. I'm in the options. I'll deal with you soon.
Alright.
Ooh, choppy. Okay. I'm at max. Very RAM usage.
Okay.
Rude.
G-Force is logged in. So now...
Whoa.
Brindle, you
Why
still
is
there? Yeah, you're going to need to turn that down still.
Why is that?
Okay.
My microphone is a wee bit close to me. That might have been it. Field of view. Why'd you bring it out to there? Holy Jesus.
Drivers. Well, yes, he is. He is a holy Jesus. It's kind of the point. Alright. Oh, don't you love that? You click update for the driver and it says starts with 3 hours. And you're like, but what the... No, now it's down to 10 minutes. Alright. 10 more minutes, people. Well, while we're doing these 10 minutes... Oh, I have a text message from Sherpa, which I can't use because I don't have my police background check done yet. Alright.
Enable check currently average around
So...
Yep. Packet loss. 0 packet losses. Oh, that's good. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, if only couriers were that good.
Oh, game, shut up, or I will mute you.
Get it? Get it?
Be quiet.
If only couriers are that good, you know, 0 packet loss.
Hey, only if you had a hole in your packet, you might lose the packet. Yeah, I was trying to turn that into a joke.
It was a joke, but you didn't get.
Huh?
What do couriers do?
Wouldn't have a clue.
A courier. You know, like DHL, UPS. What do they do?
I'm not sure.
Okay, what does Australia Post do?
Don't know.
Really?
Don't do something. Shut up.
Do it.
I'll just leave that to enabled.
You joined into a voice chat with someone streaming, but you don't want to talk to the person.
Oh no, I'm just trying to figure out settings. My dude.
Sure.
Trying to get rid of the blur. Where's the
keyboard
blur?
I see before me?
Me? Huh?
No, that's speakers. Is that a keyboard? No,
Set the
that's
quality
box
reflections
keyboard
in the
on
game
this. Dang it.
graphics when looking at a certain.
I need another keyboard. I can't find one. I can't find it. I can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power. You up there?
Wait, what's this? Take cover position.
Oh, that's where it is. Oops. Nope. Alright, forget that idea then. Okay.
Take a cover position behind a concrete barrier. Oh.
Psst. Hi.
Hey.
Not you.
Who's he?
Who's he?
Who's he? Yeah, he's in stream waiting. You want to move him down?
Oh. Yeah, I will. Sorry. Yep. My bad. Yeah. Hello. Sorry, multiple screens between 3 computers while I upgrade. So, yeah. Hi. How you going, Husey?
Oh my god, I just did that.
Alright. Yes,
Ah.
Husey, you there?
Hello? Okay,
Hello.
I'm back. Sorry. Hey, how we going,
Welcome.
guys?
How you going? You good?
Yeah, good, thank you. Hey, nice to meet you. Long
Hey, did
ball.
I see something? By the way, Husey is a streamer from Western Australia. Great guy. Did I see something in the media lately, like in the last couple of months, that related to your shop and arcade games and stuff? Don't know if it was in the news or something, but it wasn't from you, and it might have related to you. Is there anything, like any promotion of your business or your industry that has happened recently? Feel free to plug what you do, by the
No,
way.
it mustn't have been about me.
Well, speaking of which, would you like to explain the completely confusing reference I just made to the viewers?
Your stream isn't live though, dude.
What do you mean?
I mean, it says you're not live.
On Twitch, I'm not. On Facebook, Trovo, YouTube, and Delo, I am.
Oh, okay. Well, hi viewership. Yeah, I'm a Aussie streamer like Wolfling. I hang out. I do stuffs. I like retro and video games, and we just get in and hang out and yeah, play all kinds of things. Really into it. So if you like watching people game and stuff, that's what we do. Not really out to plug myself, but thank you, Wolfling. Don't really have much going on that I really do. Anyway, so yeah, I just saw you guys were playing Cyberpunk. I'm playing Cyberpunk.
Well, I'm not playing it yet
know,
because I just built my gaming rig last night, and I
right.
let's just say I have 3 more minutes downloading GeForce drivers. So it's an i5 7600K with a 1660 Ti.
Cool. That's nice.
I actually went and got the graphics card yesterday because I figured calculating everything out and then realizing, hang on, wait, I don't have a spare graphics card to put in this that's like doesn't have Radeon and 4-digit number. So, yeah, I'm gonna need to fix that.
Well,
All right.
I'm still playing this on my old rig, and I gotta say it's looking really nice just as
Yeah.
is for a game.
Well, my old rig hasn't finished downloading.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I wanted to be streaming this very much, but last minute, OBS crapped itself. It's using up 100% of my bandwidth, and I can't figure out why or how. So it's very unfortunate that I won't be able to stream it right
That
now.
does suck.
I'm gonna look into it and hopefully be streaming it more. I'm really hyped about the multiplayer feature coming later.
Ooh.
So I'm really keen about getting involved in this game. There's a lot of really great games also coming after this in release. So I'm really glad that now I can start moving away from Destiny 2 and other games that I've been clutching on for my sci-fi fix.
After the raid, after the Beyond Light raid, the Deep Stone Crypt, and pushing for a month and a half, especially with my clan, but just in general, trying to find a day one team, and at best being told, don't worry, we'll make sure that there'll be people available to play with you. If not, like, yeah, we have a raid team, but we just want to go for the emblem. We don't really care about trying to do world first or whatever. So, and it turned out that for 3 days, I could not find a single person in my clan that was available at a time I was available to actually run a raid.
That's
so
a
I
real
was just
bummer.
like, you know, but it wasn't just my clan, because my clan, like the first 6 guys, they got like Australian first 5.
Yeah.
First 5 teams. So I mean, and they did that raid like multiple times in the first 3 days. So I don't expect them to. But after all the talk of don't worry, there'll be a group, and then nothing happening, I was just like, you know what? I'm not annoyed at you. I just like I've lost my impetus to actually even play the game. Maybe next time there's a content release or something. I don't know.
I totally understand, man. I gotta say, I've been put in the same boat by a clan that I joined in anticipation for the release, and yeah, same thing happened to me. Exactly the same. It's kind of like the community pretty, like it doesn't really, yeah, it was a terrible community experience. Now I think,
You've got the pillars of the clan, and then that's it. Like they are like the prime clan officers, I guess you'd call them, and then that's it.
Yep.
And they're expected to carry this, not just the gaming of the clan, which understandably, like if you're the best 6 players and you're the streamers of the clan. Hi Ian. Thanks. I wish me the best as well once GeForce actually finishes updating. Yeah, I mean, as far as like being successful, getting world first and stuff, obviously you expect the officers to be the ones that that carry the clan, but they shouldn't have to carry the clan in just having a community at all. That's something everyone should be involved in, and unfortunately,
yeah, it feels like too much of a rat race now for me as well. Like it's no longer about having fun. It's just about being powerful enough to play with people.
Yeah,
and
it's become World of Warcrafty.
Basically, yeah, it has. And I never had interest in that game, so I'm losing interest now. I love that I've got something new I can start on, something that's promising. I'm amazed this game came out as good as it is in such a short time compared to what's been happening and what we were promised from Star Citizen.
Yeah. Wait, so you're streaming at the moment?
No, I'm not. I would like to
playing.
be
probably
right, by tomorrow. I'll try to spend the rest of today repairing these issues. Yeah. I'm down with the flu currently, so I was supposed to be working all week. I've been holding down 2 jobs now.
No, well, if you don't want both of them, you can palm one off to me, because that'd give us 1 each.
What? Huh?
Of your jobs.
Hey, what?
You said you're working 2 jobs.
Oh, yes.
Okay. One, then you've got more time to...
yeah. If you like working in a cafe kitchen for peanuts.
Hey, sure, do you need a spare keyboard? wireless keyboard mouse combo?
I do not, but maybe I could. Why? What's the?
Because I've got
what are you
5 of
offering?
them. Like they
Okay.
were cheap, and I just went, you know what? There's 5. I might as well grab 5 because they'll be quite useful in a pinch and for people who need them in class. They're great, except for 2 problems. One,
Okay.
yes, they're wireless, but they're infrared wireless.
Oh, I see.
And 2, the connector is not USB.
Okay.
It's actually
What
2
is it?
connectors, a purple one and a green one.
Is it optical or something?
No.
What's the
PS2.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I don't have. Yeah. I appreciate the offer, man.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
didn't
think
think
I'd
you'd
find a
mind.
use for it.
No.
I'm pretty good. My setup's not pretty fine.
Alright. So where
But
is?
yeah. So I'll try not to spoil anything for you dudes
Thank you.
while I'm playing this. But I gotta say it's looking really, really promising. And I think you guys are gonna have a great time. I'm still only at the character selection screen though, so
Really?
yeah.
Oh. Right. That's not the size I wanted it. Oh yeah. Start with that one at the top. Then I'll bring that into there. Then I'll bring that in to there. But it has to be at the back. Where did I just drag it? Oh. No, seriously,
Because-
where did it just disappeared on me? I lost it. Oh, it's down there. Alright. There we go. Express installation. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I need to. I'm actually gonna. I just realised the problem is the keyboard, mouse, and all that aren't actually connected properly. So I'm gonna have to plug in some stuff. The network cable is literally like going across in front of me. So that could go behind there theoretically. Can it? Will it reach? Yep. Okay, that works. Still need a keyboard and mouse that I can use. And yes, I am going to stick with my trackball. I know everyone's telling me that it's a bad thing to use for FPS, but I'm used to it and I don't have... Well, I just found out I'm going to need a mouse pad because this timber is shiny. Too shiny even for a laser mouse, it turns out. Go figure. I don't even know how that's possible. But, yeah. So...
laser mice would be most susceptible to glossy surfaces.
I would have
They
thought
need
that
something
optical
matte.
mice would have been.
I believe if you don't have a mouse pad, if you've got some sort of colored chopping board, that also works.
Usually
really,
paper
really
would
well.
work. It's just that that piece of paper was crap and folded 50 times. So-
Yeah, I'd want something a little more durable than paper.
Well, the benefit
Say
is
like
paper you can replace. You don't have to wait.
Chunk of cardboard, maybe, because that's also replaceable and more sturdy.
Yeah, but thicker. It gets on you. I mean, what I'd actually be tempted to do is just spray it. It's IKEA. It's literally IKEA cupboard. So I'd be tempted just to spray
You can
it.
take a little bit of really fine grit, like 2000 or 1500 grit sandpaper
Did
to
I
it,
just do
and just
restart
lightly
later?
abrase it.
Yeah,
That'll work.
I don't want to take away from the surface because it's chipboard underneath.
Yeah,
know,
it's
if I
got an
sand it,
melamine plastic surface.
Mm.
That's why I suggested using like a 1500 paper. It's so fine that it won't be able to take it back. You just
Yeah.
need to scuff it a little bit, or you could
Yeah.
even use a Brillo pad. You know, something from if you've got a
could.
Brillo pad from the kitchen, that'll work.
Alright, so I'm going to have to use NDI for that. For the audio, because I don't have Ordinate. I don't have Dante installed on this computer. Hopefully, oh wait, but this is an updated computer. I was having problems with a delay in NDI, and I think it might have just been because the computer was like not up to snuff with gaming and NDI at the same time. So hopefully, this one is. So that computer is now restarting. While it's doing that, hello, Diddlewear. Thank you for the like. Okay, so all I need is to plug it into that. Where is that cable going? Which means I need to put this on the ground, I think. We'll use a longer HDMI lead. Do I have a longer HDMI lead? That's the question. Question to which I'm not sure of the answer. You know, I think I need to put it on the ground anyway because I've got to connect it to the keyboard and mouse that are already in there. So, what we'll do is we'll unplug the network first. I do at some point need to pull this out, put the case panels back on, and then knock you off. Oh, you haven't actually seen the computer, have you? No. Alright. Here we go. Here's some fun that I found out with OBS. Okay. Gaming screen. Full screen. Then let's add alright, dodgy cat webcam. Okay. Filter. And let's put an NDI output filter on that. So bulldozer webcam. And I'll rename that. Apply changes. Okay, so now I can add an NDI source here. New one. I really need two separate networks, one for the internet and one for... But now I can dual run it. Alrighty. So now, there we go. That's the other camera. Oh, I did a Twitch test last night, Husey. I streamed the building on both Twitch as an affiliate and on all the other platforms. But I streamed one from my streaming PC and one from my bulldozer. The bulldozer just had that camera there. And then I had two Logitech cameras for the streaming one. So it meant that you could see the thing on both, but because Twitch refused to answer my question about how disparate the two streams have to be for it not to breach their affiliate terms, you know, the 24-hour hold thing. So this is a test. If they come back and take me off affiliate or something, we know why. But that's the computer.
Alright. No, I severely doubt they're going to do it while you're such a small streamer. But I just wanted to make you aware that it is part of their terms of service.
Oh, I know it's part of the terms of service, but I asked them to explicate how much different, because the question is, what is the same stream? Like if my housemate is using my phone to stream on Twitch, comes into the room with my phone and holds it up to the screen, which is showing me the if I'm streaming on Twitch and he's doing live streaming on my phone for YouTube or something, and he comes in and has in the frame the feedback monitor screen for Twitch, is that a breach? Because it's technically my account for both, and I'm effectively restreaming. Is that a breach? If I'm streaming one for the left eye and one for the right eye over VR stereoscopics, is that a breach? Because technically it's two different feeds. How, like, what do they define as? Because it'd be unreasonable for him to walk in and me get in trouble.
Feed or stream source, yeah.
Yeah, but if I'm doing VR stereoscopics, like, that's obviously a very dark side of the grey area. But I want to know where the line is so that I know what I can do and what I can't do, and therefore if I do something that's over the line, I know it's my fault, I know I deserve to be held accountable. But if I don't do something that's over the line, I know that I shouldn't be held, I shouldn't be in trouble for it.
Yeah, and I can see why they don't want to answer that, because they want to stay in the grey area so that they can say at whatever point. They want to have control to be able to say when and what. They don't want to specify, because otherwise then that gives you a loophole.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them, that's not how courts work.
Yeah, like you're still going to do what you're doing, regardless. So.
And if I ever get big enough, like if they let me get away with it until I'm big enough, and then they say, oh, actually, well, I can go, well, what is it with trademark? No, patent violations? No, trademark violations.
Yeah.
If you don't protect it, you lose your rights. That's why, like, if you put a backwards R in a toy store, Toys R Us will come after you something fierce. It's because I'm pretty sure Toys R Us has already actually lost one trademark because the court basically said you didn't fight for it. And
Actually, I've got a question for you. It's not being rude or talking down to you. Just wondering, because like I've been listening while I've been playing my game, getting used to how this try-hard game works. Throwing it out there, do you know when to...
Shut up.
You know, when...
No.
I know for a fact you don't know how to, but sometimes you're not too bad at it. But sometimes when you need... I'm just going to say it out. When either you need to... when to shut up and not to shut up. Do you know when? I'm just wondering because I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Still learning.
No.
So one of the things about having ADD is you don't learn social cues. Like everyone having body language that says we really don't want you even around us anymore because you're just so annoying because you never stop talking. Like those kind of things you just don't pick up because that's peripheral information that your brain hasn't. You got to filter out the mid-level stuff that's completely irrelevant before you can get to the peripheral stuff that's vital. And my brain just never got to that stage. So
no, mine doesn't either.
So
I don't think mine
once
never will.
you actually, usually once you reach 25 or something, you grow out of ADD, and that's all just behavioural. But your brain is actually then capable of dealing with it. Shut that down and restart it. But unfortunately for me, my neurology has said, no, you're going to have ADD for the rest of your life. The neurological stuff is going to plague you forever. And so that all has a whole other level of difficulty to it. Alright, so I need to take this and put it on the ground. Which one's that? That's the one up there. So that's not actually going to be plugged into there anymore. That can go back underneath. PS2 can come out. Right. And having been asked that, Husey, I've realised how much I've been talking over you for the last, however long since you joined in.
No, you have not. Don't think that way, man. No, I've been prompting.
You may not. you may
hearing
not
talk,
notice.
because
you may
I
not
actually-
notice, but I have actually realized
I-
retrospectively how much.
You're
You
still
may not
doing
mind
I,
it.
I know, but
Right.
I've got it too, and I think it's interesting to be able to have this like in-depth and open dialogue about honest thoughts and
Yeah.
like interests and what's happening. Like I'm as much an active listener as I am an active talker. So
Yeah.
you do like it. I didn't zone out. What you were talking about was engaging for me.
Yes. I'm not talking. So there's. I mean, for me, there's two types of apologies. Well, okay.
Yeah.
There's three types. There's bending the knee apology, which never do, because all that bending the knee does is gives them an opportunity to kick you in the head. Never bend the knee. If you believe you did something wrong, then apologize. Regardless if anyone thinks you need to apologize, if you did something wrong, apologize.
Oh.
Partly for your own neurological reinforcement, but also because it actually proclaims to other people that you have a standard. If someone thinks, for instance, that what you do is perfectly fine, but you think what you do is wrong, and you come out and say, I apologize for doing this, I should never do it in the future, they then see you as a person who says that is off limits, and if you then never do it again, they see you as someone who holds to your own standard of behavior. So in that regard, if you think you did something wrong, apologize and then aim to never do it again. On the other side, if what you did hurt someone, not upset someone in a way where, like, if you actually did something which could have been, like, it's kind of, I'm not saying something where someone got offended, because that's a whole other thing about, like I said, about bending the knee to meet someone else's ideology. I'm talking about actually causing someone else harm, even if what you think you did was fine on your side. You can apologize for hurting them. So, for instance, there's a difference in bending the knee between, like, you know, when your mum said go say sorry to your sister or your brother or whatever, and you'd go to them and you'd say, I'm sorry that you wanted that chocolate. Not I'm sorry I ate your chocolate, but I'm sorry you wanted the
sorry
chocolate.
and
Yours.
but.
Yeah.
Call that
And
in
you
family.
apologize for the impact on them, but without apologizing for what you did. Okay, so there's two parts to an apology. Often those two will be intrinsically linked. Like if you punch someone in the face, you'll apologize for the punch, but you'll also apologize for hurting their face and smushing it up. But you don't explicate that there's two parts to the apology, but there is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
And so I was apologizing for the my standard thing, not for the upsetting you thing.
That's all right. I understand. I accept your apology.
Yeah.
But know that it is okay in my presence to have open thought. I'm not going to
I'm allowed
judge
to
you
give
for
you
that.
artificial intelligence devices? Because that would be open thought in your presence. Did you get that one, Josh? Did you understand that? Josh, did you understand that joke? No. I was going to explain it to him so you could get it, but no.
I'm not sure I totally got it, but it was funny.
Presents, as in gifts you give people. So
Yes.
in your
Yeah.
presence.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on the ball.
Yes.
I got you.
So, an independent thought. The only way you can give someone thought in a present is if the present can think for itself. And I'm not really into slavery, so I wasn't going to give you an actual slave.
Yeah. I got it. You're a clever one.
Let's pull that.
Uh,
And then sometimes too clever for my
So-
good.
I wanted to ask you, man.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised to see you wanting to play Cyberpunk. I thought it would have some kind of clash with your moralities.
In what way?
Um,
It's a very valid question because I haven't actually looked at a huge amount of gaming.
I'm not sure. It's very how do you say, conceptually, people from my own family who are devout believers of their faith would call playing such a game blasphemous.
So, I guess the best way I could explain it is to relate it to Among Us, and the reason I think I have a very valid issue with Among Us, and it pains me to see it played at my youth group, for example. So, there's a reason why they say don't use porn. Okay, now that's self-explanatory. For people who think porn's bad, you can understand completely why, right? There's no debate there to be had other than I just disagree with that being a valid thing. but the principles behind it you can't really argue against. Okay, so on Among Us's side, you can say it's a game about lying, but then people say, yeah, but you say you play a game about violence. Like, yes, but there's a very different level, because in Among Us, you have to actually be the person lying. Okay? But in Call of Duty, you don't have to be the person killing. The only equivalent would be if Call of Duty came with a gun that had a webcam, that had a camera in it, and you actually had to walk out your front door, load a live round in it, and shoot someone on the street to come back in and actually get the frag in game. Because that would actually be killing someone. Whereas in Among Us, you have to actually lie, which is the issue that I have.
I understand. So you see it as like, you know, your if it's like an avatar state, not like the Last Airbender kind of thing, but more like
As
you
in
have
RPG avatar, yes.
Yeah, the RPG. So in this case, the RPG is giving you a list of choices, and you're simply prompting. You're not participating.
Okay, so there was an actual. I had a discussion about Beyond Light and the whole darkness thing, and I thought that was actually an interesting questionability of succumbing to the darkness. And I was like, as a Christian, I actually there are a whole bunch of red flags of this is actually in the real world. This is an issue. Darkness is temptation, and the solution is never to give in to the temptation. And I actually talked about that when I was streaming the campaign for Beyond Light. It's never a good idea to do that. However, in the game, I was just like, oh, this makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but I don't have an ethical issue with it. You know what I mean? I go under here to move stuff, and I realise that one of the legs on my table, I'll show you. Look at the big stream. Okay, so this is literally a makeshift IKEA table. This is a mate's IKEA cupboard. Hang on, there. This is an IKEA cupboard. This is like the sliding door of an IKEA cupboard, which if you look underneath, you can actually see. I've then put this underneath because this is hollow. That top piece is hollow, and so I needed something underneath. And then I've gotten these IKEA legs, right? Now this is the IKEA legs for an actual frame table, so that's all fine, bears the load. But these independent legs, this one here, there's less of them. But also, I put wheels on the bottom, and you see the size of those wheels there. They're kind of heavy duty. I don't know if you can actually see that without the torch. You see, it's a pretty heavy duty wheel, yeah? Then when you look at this wheel, which I got from Bunnings, not so heavy duty, which is why it hasn't acted in such a heavy duty way. I think I'm going to need to replace that wheel, because it's literally just the bolt has bent. So, yeah, no weight placed on that area of the table for now. But, yeah, so that's the thing. So, there's a different, there are games which, it'll be an interesting thing. Did I actually literally just blow $100 on a game I have issue with? Because, for example, I used to play Payday, and I lost interest in it because of the stuff you're doing was distasteful. It wasn't I have an ethical problem, it just I didn't find enjoyment in it. Just realised I'm not on any camera, so I didn't find enjoyment in it at all. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, you've always got that choice. You've been gifted free will.
Yeah.
You're allowed to choose what is fits to your moral code or not.
But it's not a moral. It's not so much of a moral code. It's just an if someone else, there are other people in our server that play it. The only reason I have issue with playing it is if they say, "Hey, Asher, come game with us," and then they decide to play it. So basically, what you said is, "Asher, come be here while we do stuff you're not going to be involved in." It's like
Hey, you're getting quiet. I can't.
Yeah, because I'm underneath. So the only reason that I would have issue with people playing Payday or Payday 2 is if they said, "Hey, come game with us," and then they decided to play it, because it would be effectively like inviting a vegan to a barbecue, to a roast beef. What do they call it? A rib cookout.
Yeah.
Where the only food there is all meat. It's like, come and watch us have fun.
Okay.
But I don't have issue with people playing it. Whereas with Among Us, I actually have an ethical and moral issue with the game itself being played by anyone, to the point where when a streamer that I follow plays it, I will say something along the lines of, I see you as relatively trustworthy, or I see you as a trustworthy person. I don't want to watch you lie. I don't want to see how good at lying you are, so therefore I can't watch you play Among Us. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Well,
which isn't it? I mean, even that isn't a moral statement against them. It's just that's the issue I see. That's half of the issue I see with the game.
wasn't sure how else to put it.
Yeah.
I see life as we're given free choice, and therefore we choose
Down the keyboard.
who we want to be, what we want to do, what what conforms to, and then we also, just as we also choose our belief, and we choose what to take from it, and we choose how to be from that. And so to give you a little perspective of why I'm asking this is it's very different from like I came from quite a strict belief Christian Israelites who in their dogmas they are totally against any kind of depiction of God's creations.
What do you mean God's creations?
That means you cannot wear a T-shirt with an animal print on it or a person. You cannot play video games that have depictions of real creatures, animals, people.
So does that mean that you can't have a coin with a sheep on it? Or a camel or a donkey? You couldn't have currency with a donkey on it, could you? Like our entire currency would be basically a violation.
It's loose. It's more in the moral code of what you're choosing to do. So the things you're choosing to participate in, for example, like social currency is like survival. You don't have a choice. You have to participate in that.
You could go electronic.
It's still not okay for them to have deities and depictions, but or representations of other deities or other idols or anything that could be, like for example the Queen or so
that's
stuff like that is not okay for them, but it's more for the lifestyle choices. So like choosing to wear clothes that have people on them, choosing to have video games and hang pictures of Hollywood stars that so it's considered almost sacrilegious to idolize someone.
because it's do not make an idol.
But
so
it's
because I preach at our church sometimes, and if I was doing a thing on idols, I would completely ignore the posters on the wall thing and say, if you're a believer, the posters on the wall probably aren't the issue. If someone says something possibly negative about Justin Bieber and you unfriend them because of it, that's probably more of a concern. That's probably where you're worshipping him. But if you wake up thinking about something other than God, and you go to bed thinking about how you want to focus, like a computer game, if you wake up thinking about computer games, you live stream because you want to be able to play computer games, and that's a way of making money to support your gaming, not you want to make money, you like games, and it works together. Like what I'm doing is partly that, partly this conversation is why. In fact, this type of conversation is a bigger portion of it than the gaming or the making money. So if you think about gaming, you sleep about gaming, you eat about gaming, everything about your mindset is gaming, that's an idol. Doesn't matter if you mentally worship it or not. If all your devotion, if all your energy and thought process is spent on it, that's an idol. And that's the thing, like if you're a Christian, you should be waking up thinking not, what do they say? Instead of thinking good God, it's morning, say good morning God, kind of thing. That should be your thought process. And when you go to bed, you should be saying, God, help me do better tomorrow than I did today, or God, thank you for today, it was awesome, let's go on. Like it should be, your life should be about God, and then as an outflow of your relationship with God, who you know created everything to show love to everyone, your life should then be about showing love to everyone as God would have you do. And so that's then why you care for other people, kind of thing. And so idolizing in that, it's an interesting thing because like I said, the coin, the Hebrew coin had an animal on it. The reason that they had an animal on it was because they didn't agree with having a head of state. Even when they had kings, God is our head. Like, we have the queen because she's our head of state. And they said, no, our head of state is not our king. Our head of state is God. But we can't do a picture of God, so we're going to do a picture of the best representation of him, which is he created everything. So natural creation is representing him. So if you actually see a shirt which has a fig and a donkey, that's not blasphemous. That's actually saying this is as close I can get to drawing the creator without blaspheming. So
yeah, I can see the reason behind that, and that it wasn't that the sheep was their representation of God; it was the representation of the people themselves.
Yeah, it's a very interesting issue.
So yeah, well, every faith's different. What I found really most interesting about these people who had this particular dogma in their faith was that they also were extremely accepting of other faiths. They did not condemn and they did not convert. It was okay for other people to have their deities and their idols. It was just not okay for them.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting thing. More Christianity's failing these days because the Bible only ever actually, like, the Bible says go out and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, teaching them, so on and so forth. You know what? It only ever actually, like, it gives examples of people who did that, and people go, oh, well, he did this whole stand on a soapbox and tell people they're wrong, so that's what we're meant to do. No. The Bible only actually gives you one instruction as to how. The only time the Bible ever says how to fulfill the Great Commission, as it's called, is it says, basically, you do you.
Yeah.
It says, live your life, and when people do ask, because if you live the Christian life to its fullest without telling people they have to do the same, if you just say, I'm going to be as loving and compassionate as possible, and I'm going to not worry about myself and my needs because I know God looks after my needs, I'm just not going to cut my legs out from under me to make myself less able to do what God wants me to do. If you live that life, people are going to ask what the hell is wrong with you. And when they ask, be ready to give an answer for the hope you have within you. That's literally it.
Yeah,
never says tell people they're going to hell. Never says any of that.
You don't even have to be a believer of any sort to live your life that way, because that's just the good thing to do, the way to develop yourself and to improve the people and to, like, bring joy to the people around you. It's just common sense. Yeah. So I can agree with that.
The crucial difference of evangelism for a Christian is that second half, where it says, be ready in and out of season to give a reason for the hope you have within you. And when people ask you why you have that hope within you, the specific answer is Jesus. And that's the difference. And that is so missed in the modern church. That is such a huge, like, half the church doesn't even get to the point of realizing that's the hope we have within them, let alone that that's all you need to be able to tell people, and only when they ask. Well, let alone only when they ask. And so, yeah. I mean, some people would see, like, the Aussie guy who goes around America doing video conversations with people where he shares the gospel with them. That's different, because one of the things is that he starts with a conversation about their life and then tells them, do you know Jesus is the answer to all these problems? He doesn't go up to them and say, do you know Jesus?
Yeah.
Like, he talks to them on camera, and if he finds that they have a deep issue that they're constantly struggling with, he'll then go, well, are you aware that? And he'll use that to share the gospel with them. He won't go up to them and go, have you heard about the Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ? Whatever, I said that wrong. But, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter because it's the wrong thing to say. And that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure there's a part of you, Husey, I'm not going to go into it, but I'm sure with what you've told me about your lifestyle that there's a part of you that said, this guy's a Christian, when's he going to tell me off?
No, not really.
Okay. For a lot of people, I know that's one of the things they're kind of bracing themselves with for most Christians. And I hear a Christian say that kind of thing about, that's wrong, right? And I'll tell the Christian off. That's how firmly I believe that you do you thing, that we don't actually have the right to tell people that I'm not going to go, like I said, I'm not going to go into it on stream, but I'm not going to tell people that part
Oh, you're an
of
effing
their life
dibben
is, Josh, that part of their life is not mine to judge. If it affects other people, my responsibility is to protect other people. So if you're doing something that affects other people, like completely different spectrum. But for instance, like if you're into slavery,
Protect me, daddy.
My job is to protect the slaves, and so therefore I have to fight against slavery.
Protect me, daddy.
Josh, behave.
Sorry.
But
Okay.
and I picked that because it's very different from what the topic of Hughesy's. That's not in any way related to what.
Yeah, and if you're
just for anyone who's watching on stream and going, "Wait, Hughesy's does slavery?" It's like, no.
No, I do not.
So,
just to clarify.
yeah.
But I'd like to present something to you. If we go back to what you were saying about have that answer ready, and if you'll excuse my use of phrasing, but if I may play devil's advocate on that one.
Yeah.
Again, you said
I have
that.
no problem with that phrasing.
What I think from that is that you also again don't have to necessarily have a chosen faith or a defined belief for God itself in the need for you to have an answer. The answer does not necessarily have to be God. And the reason I think that, and I'm presenting this argument, is that it opens the person to the need for reflection. Yes, have an answer, but in the case of, say, you're the last person on Earth, you have no human history to reflect on, nothing to understand, no fellow human to talk philosophy with. You have to come up with the divine answers all on your own. In that circumstance, if you were to be asked by a deity or an alien presenting itself to you, what and why you continue to live and to move forwards, and that would be you would have to have reflected on something, and therefore your answer will be the reflection of yourself and what you choose to what's the word, to ponder, and I get there's another word for it, but basically the collection, the final surmise of everything that you've tried to collect as your own self-reflection. I think so what I'm trying to say is the point of that statement in the Bible is that it opens the person to the need to reflect on themselves, and that's a vitally important thing. Whether or not your belief is God, you need to have an answer. Whether or not your answer is God, reflect on yourself until you find your answer.
Yes, except because that paradigm is done as an externality to Christianity. Because one, it's the hope you have, the reason for the hope you have, and so for a Christian person, the reason for the hope we have is explicitly Jesus, not just that we have a God, but that it is Jesus. We see Jesus as different to the other gods. That's why, like, there's the whole thing of he's the one that died for us.
Yes,
it's him. However, the bit about there's also a discussion to be had, which I'm not going to get into now, but there is a discussion to be had as far as the last person on earth with no reference. The concept of the divine perpetuation of the gospel, the idea that even when the entire world, at one point, the entire world was focused on eradicating the Judeo-Christian scriptures from existence. And then a couple of hundred years later, they found some scrolls in ruins of a building. And so there's this theory, even with the translations and the attempts to create false translations, that in the same way, because from a Christian perspective, if God was to take his hands off the universe, stars would go out and worlds and solar systems would stop orbiting properly. And so in the same way, if he was to take his hands off the gospel, it would die out. People would fight it and suppress it and eradicate it. But he is, throughout history, he has made sure that his word has never actually been successfully eradicated, even though there have been multiple attempts to destroy every copy of Scripture.
But now we're arguing semantics of fate.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing that's the difference in the last person thing. When you
Well,
get
let me-
asked that as the last person, it's like, for a Christian, well, if you're the last person ever on earth, you'll probably have access to a scripture.
Well, allow me then to reiterate what in that hypothetical situation, wouldn't the hope that you have and that faith you've just explained that God has an inevitable reach and touch upon everything, so and that his intention is that the perpetuation of humanity's love for him and his love for humanity, wouldn't in that circumstance your hope mean that a person who has lived without any guidance, be that the hope that they adopt or the conclusion they come to of their hope from nothing, be that be that of the purity of love for God?
I think I mostly understood what you were saying then. So someone else asks you if someone walks up to you while you're sitting focused on something, like you're sitting down focused on a task, and someone walks up to you and says, "Why are you having so much fun?" There's an implied question there. There's a couple of implied things there that you could say. One is they've noticed that you're enjoying yourself. 2, that seems unusual. And 3, they possibly aren't. So when someone comes up to you and says, because it's not usually, "Hey, you seem to have a hope in life. That's cool. Me too. What's yours for?" Because it's not like someone comes up and goes, "Hey, you seem to have spiritual security. What's your reason?" Because mine's Hindu. Usually what it'll be, and I'm not picking on Hindu, but I'm just saying because that's not Christianity. Usually what it'll be is, there's something different about you that I have not seen elsewhere, and I want a piece of it. I want to have that in me because I'm struggling. How do I get that? What do you have that you can share with me? So in that instance, to say, well, you have to have a hope within you, that's kind of like someone who's got insomnia and you're going, well, you just need to sleep more. You know what I mean? It's almost...
I hear what you're saying.
It could be quite offensive to some people.
I feel like that situation is also inherently, like, that is kind of one of the part of the human condition, is that we inherently see things that are different from ourselves and want to ostracize it.
Or inquire. Ostracize or inquire, yeah.
Or inquire, but most often when it comes to differences of people and faith, if it's somebody different from you, but otherwise, yes, like that's the thing. I don't feel like there's enough open dialogue between faiths where if somebody else is happy and they're not, it means that they can have an open dialogue about how to share their joy. Whereas rather, if the first thing to come out of each of those people's mouths is what they believe, I feel like a different outcome would happen, and that there would be judgment instead of hope between them.
Well, yeah, and so that's it. Doesn't say give an answer of who your God is. So when I've been asked the question of my hope before, and I've never said, because I believe in the Jesus of the Bible, and you can too. It's been to do with a particular situation, and I've started with where I am and where I've been, and I then explain how Jesus and the Bible impacted that situation and how hope came from it. And if they clearly want more information, I will then expand that to cover either more situations where things changed for the better, or if they want to know more, how they can then have Christianity in their life. But if someone says, for instance, it's happened, if someone says, how are you enjoying yourself without doing this, this, and this like everyone else? Like, they're all doing that, and some of them are having fun, some of them aren't even having fun. You're not even doing that risky behavior, but you seem to be having more fun than the rest of them. How are you actually managing that? I won't go, because they need Jesus. Because that's an easy way to shut the conversation down and make sure they never talk to you again. What I'll usually do is say, well, I don't see the need because I've got other things in my life that I'm enjoying. Like, for instance, with copious amounts of alcohol, my response is usually something along the lines of, well, I don't see the point in drinking myself to the point where I forget stuff or lose control, because I'm enjoying remembering everything I do of every moment and having total relative control over my body in those moments. Why would I want to sacrifice some of that for booze? I don't mind the occasional drink, but I don't ever see the point in getting drunk, because that takes away from the life I'm living. And they're like, well, what's so special about your life that you don't want to miss out on any of it? And then they'll almost, sometimes they've explained it, sometimes they just allude it by saying, because my life. I'm like, well, I have a secure anchor in where I am. I know that no matter what happens, God's looking out for me. Even in the darkest times of my past, I've known, and I look in hindsight and I see that there's been a way out that I have been guided on, not just stumbling through the dark until I hit a light switch. I know that my place is secure both in this world and the next, and because of that, none of this world can harm me. I am free to do whatever I want, whenever I want, based on what I know to be what I want, being the well-being of every person on this planet, and the correct appropriate actions according to God's will. I can do anything of that I want at any point in time, not having to fear any of the consequences for myself or for other people around me. And that is incredibly freeing, and I know then that that is the most free I can ever be, or will be. Why would I want to sacrifice that with alcohol, which directly inhibits my ability to perform those actions? And then they go, and I've literally had people just go, wow, that's really cool. And then some of them have come back and asked me later on about church and stuff, so clearly it had an impact. Some of them have asked me for a Bible or for like contact information, and other people have just gone, wow, that's really cool, in the way which means, okay, good, you do that, and I'm going to go get another drink. And it's like, well, but at no point did I say, you shouldn't drink. I just said, look, I don't see the point for me. I do drink. Jesus drank. He turned water into wine. Like, he obviously didn't. And he, the really funny thing about that story is, those festival parties, they went on for days. And the wine he made was the best there. Like, the host of the party said, why is he bringing out the good stuff? Because by that time, people were so drunk they couldn't taste properly. All they wanted was alcohol. They couldn't tell if the wine was good or not. And the host said, why did you bring out the good stuff at the end? You should have done that at the beginning, because it would have been noticed. Now it's just you might as well have brought out cheap grog or something like that. So he had no problem with supporting a big piss up in Hebrew culture. I just don't think he ever got drunk. But I know he drank alcohol because he told everyone to do it once a week. So, in honor of him, in fact.
That's something that's actually I've found reoccurred throughout history. Some of the most influential people have all had some kind of experience with a recreational drug that's natural, and they've all come to the same conclusion that only in moderation can it benefit you. Even the great Bob Marley said, even as much as he partook of drugs, he still believed firmly, and I quote him on this. He said many times to people, everything in moderation. Salvador Dali said, everyone should try hashish, but only once. MC Escher had a similar experience. Many great artists, I believe also Albert Einstein. You could keep rattling off and naming many. I'm not suggesting everyone go out and do some drugs. Do not. That's not what I'm saying. But on this topic, that considering that alcohol, even though it is legal in our society, it is still inevitably a drug of use for that affects and influences the mind. It alters the mental state. It is like you saying, Jesus partook, but it was in moderation, and that he suggested that others moderate.
I'm going to caveat that with modern drugs are different.
Yes, modern drugs are very different.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical age has completely changed that. But as far as naturopathic, I guess, body and mind altering substances, I would say most of them, to some extent, could have benefits. I don't like the definition. I just looked it up. The public definition for pollution is useless, because pollution is things that is when something, the state of being polluted, but polluted is past tense of pollution, and to pollute is to create pollution. Like, it's all just a cyclical thing, and then they'll go into environmentalism, but that's it. My definition of pollution is any substance concentrated enough that it becomes toxic. So when it says don't pollute your body, I'm not saying it says that in the Bible. I'm not even sure if it does. But it says, the Bible is pretty clear about, it says your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. So treat it like a temple. And actually, no, it does say don't pollute your bodies at one point. But the fact is that even oxygen can be pollution. It can pollute to the point where it's toxic to the point of death. In fact, one of the things is the difference, people don't realize there's a difference between toxicity and venom. So they talk about venomous plants. It's like, well, plants aren't venomous, mostly. I mean, Venus flytrap maybe. But they're not venomous, they're toxic. There are venomous animals and there are toxic animals. But
poisonous.
Yeah, venom is something that you inject to kill. Like, it is...
Yes, and poison is something that is fatal when eaten. Yeah,
as opposed to a reaction from a venom is something... Poison, toxin, and venom. So venom is something used to harm. Poison is something that, once digested, causes harm. Toxic is something that, by its chemical nature, is harmful. It can be venom. Venom can cause toxicity. Poison can cause toxicity. But also pollution can cause toxicity. And so noise pollution can destroy your ears. If you have a loud enough noise at 20 hertz or lower, you can vibrate the tendons apart and remove and disconnect the organs from their framework in your body, at which point your organs will crush each other in your pelvis, basically. Your heart and your lungs will fall down and crush the lower half of your organs in your pelvis and kill you. A loud enough frequency at high volumes can literally cause your ears to bleed and the brain fluid to leak out your eardrums. Like, that's just having enough of sound, let alone light will burn, heat will burn, oxygen. If you become hypoxic, your body does not cope very well at all. If you have too much nitrogen in your blood, it causes bubbles. That's how you get the bends. If you have too much water, you get water toxicity, is also known as dry drowning, because basically your blood dilates to the point where it can't transport oxygen. Like, anything and everything can kill you in a high enough concentration. Although from a Christian perspective, except for the presence of God. I mean, but actually, if you're sinful, even that, but that's a whole other thing. But if you have, there are a lot of things in modern pharmaceuticals which are actually those drugs which are bad, but they've turned them into a pharmaceutical, and so now it's okay because Pfizer or AstraZeneca made it, so it must be all right. But consult your physician. It may cause bleeding, death, and anonymity. Who knows? But yeah, that's one of the things, and so then that's one of the arguments in America against with weed, and in Australia, in fact. My dad actually helped someone with growing marijuana. They weren't approved for medicinal marijuana, but it was literally the only thing that kept them from wanting to literally jump out in front of a truck every day was the illegally cultivated weed that they were taking. and using suppositories because their esophagus had been removed. They had
And was it
esophageal
not in the Bible that the herb was also considered holy?
I don't know about that, but I do know that God actually taught Noah how to make wine.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's I mean, even herbs and stuff like that in the Bible, medicinal herbs. The problem wasn't the herbs. The problem was either being, like I said, an idol. If your focus is on getting high, and it takes away from the rest of your life, well, that's actually pollution. Like, this is I just realized the problem with idolatry isn't the focus on something. The problem with idolatry is the toxic levels of spiritual pollution. So you can play computer games, that's fine. But if you have too much focus of computer games in your life to the point where it becomes a pollutant, it can be toxic to your spiritual well-being. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so when you then look at blasphemy and stuff, the problem with blasphemy is that you're actually polluting your recognition of who God is. If you see God as all-power, as omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, so all-powerful, all-seeing, all-knowing, if you see that as who God is and as absolutely just, then any time you take away from that representation of him, you are polluting the relationship with him and your perspective of him. So you would want to stay as far away from sullying his name as possible. However, when you then link that up with other things, if you then see them as needing to be held as perfect, then you would not want to pollute that relationship. And that's where I can understand people have different attitudes towards what is blasphemy and what isn't. But you can actually, you could literally focus it all down to, is this pollution or not? Brings a whole new meaning to the phrase climate change. See, my favourite one when people ask me, do you believe in climate change? And I know that they're asking it with an agenda, but I don't know which way their agenda falls. Like whether they're deniers or whether they're acolytes. Well, whether they're that's a bad way of putting it. Whether they're acolytes for climate change or acolytes against climate change. But I know that they're acolytes for one or the other. And so I know that this could make or break me depending on my answer. And I'll say something along the lines of, well, it says there was no death in the world before the fall in the Garden of Eden. So anything that happens subsequent to that is directly the fault of mankind. So therefore, if the world is becoming unlivable in any way, shape or form, even through viral developments like a pandemic that we didn't directly cause, if that came about as a byproduct of sin, then technically that's man-made climate change. So in that case, yes, I do believe in man-made climate change. And neither side knows where to go from there, because I haven't actually talked about smog or anything. But I've given an answer long enough that they have to sit there and think about it and go, yeah, but I don't believe in Jesus, so I don't really know how to come back from that one. Kind of just pushes the whole conversation to the side. A misanswer of an answer. But yeah, it's my primary.
Yeah, it's a good topic. We should be talking about it.
Yeah, my primary thing is don't shy away from topics that people want you to have a specific opinion on. Don't be afraid to give them your opinion if you can actually give an explanation for it. If you can't explain your opinion, be willing to change it. So have the important conversations. But more than that, you don't have the right to condemn others for their beliefs.
Yes, be willing to hear others.
Even if they are...
You expect to be heard.
Even if they are... And this is an interesting discussion. I've actually had this with other people, and I started to have this conversation last night before I streamed, and someone was like, can we not have this conversation? Because it was very close to the bone for them. But basically, the idea of a map. What a map is? A person who's a map. And the difference between that and a pedo is actually whether they decide it's appropriate to act on it.
Okay, no.
So a map is a minor attracted person.
Okay.
So that's a sexual... that's... Technically, you would take that as a sexual orientation. Now, in the last 100 years, we've just gone through a whole process of saying no one can be condemned for their sexual orientation. You don't have the right to condemn someone for who they're attracted to or what they're attracted to. However, we do have a hard line as to what is appropriate and not appropriate to do with people who are vulnerable. And there we do draw a line. which is why certain acts are illegal. So we can all agree that those things should be illegal, but if someone has an inclination towards those acts, should we hold them as evil for that inbuilt natural inclination? If they agree that those acts are abhorrent and they will do everything in their power, even to chopping off bodily appendages to prevent themselves from ever doing it, should we condemn them for admitting that they have that drive within them?
Yeah, that is a big one. I don't have an opinion, but I would otherwise say it all depends on and where you'd have to very carefully do so. But it's all about where you draw the line.
Because what if someone puts their hand up and says, "Look, I'm a map. I know I am. Can you put me on some sort of register and hold me accountable that I never go near a school?" Like, is that okay? Are we allowed to do that? Are we allowed to try and protect them from committing heinous crimes? Or should we condemn them even though they've never actually committed crime because they've said they might have a predisposition to it? Another interesting point is, when stuff like that is done to you, it distorts your sexual view. So some people may not be born that way. They may be cultivated that way through harm that was done to them as a child. So to condemn them would literally be to persecute the victim. Are we willing to do that? Because I'm pretty sure we have this whole thing against victim shaming. So it's a really difficult topic, a really interesting topic to get into. And I've asked some prominent YouTubers and they've gone, yeah, that's an interesting point. I'm not going to put that on my channel.
Yeah. Well, another aspect to look at it from, another angle to look at it from, or point to include, is that society's influence on us to be defined by our sexuality and to have pressure on sexual success is also a huge part to play. And there's no actual support there for people to come to terms with what their sexuality is and learn to draw lines for themselves, or to be able to moderate themselves on it. Like, just as there are drug addicts, there are people who are addicted to sexuality and sex.
And I would say that's one of the most harmful aspects of the sexual revolution.
It is. So it's at what point is the sexuality becoming a harmful habit of addiction, and at what point is it just the natural existence that the person is living?
And I would say that in itself is based on a misnomer, that sexuality is not just sexuality, that it has a spiritual and a significant emotional and spiritual component, and that the problem is we've separated the two, which is kind of like it. To me, I guess, I mean, it's not a clear analogy, but I would analogize it as saying the sexual revolution would be like if we had a culinary revolution where we separated eating from nutrition. So we said you can eat what you want to your heart's content. Don't let anyone shame you for it. But then no one was allowed to be held accountable for how that impacted their body. And you could blame other people. Hang on, wait. I just realized. Oh, isn't there a whole debate? Yeah, I'm not even going to go any further on that analogy because that is now a hot topic. I did not mean that. Please don't ban me, Twitch. Yes, big is beautiful. Let's just leave it at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, hey, I am probably one of the few people that you'll encounter that is entirely unbiased, non-judgmental. I've had the benefit of being able to have such wonderful open topic conversations with people who are also open to it, people who are willing to change their views and change the views of others. It's all really crucial to our development, our personal development, and the way that we influence one another. Like, I think it's really crucial to have these topics. It takes a lot to upset or offend me. There's really nothing that I would shy away from as a topic. I've been in some very interesting conversations.
Yeah.
And although I consider myself to be very morally secure, I am often being challenged by new things, like, and I think that I feel that's good. A lot of people meet a challenge and feel fear about change.
They don't
Whereas,
see challenges; they see threats.
yeah, this brings me to something, a philosophy I've adopted.
I'm going to quickly mention this thing because it's like a trite thing to say. I remember the days when the word critical at uni had to do with thought, not race theory.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Sorry. So one of this philosophy I've forgotten it now. What I was going to say.
Sorry. It was after being secure in your...
No, I've lost the thought.
Yeah.
It's all right.
That's all right for you. I didn't get to hear it though. Is Josh still here, or is he gone? He left.
He left after you shushed him.
Yeah. Somewhat serious conversation, and he starts saying stuff like that. I'm just like, dude, it's the clean room. It's not just about not swearing. It's about being a little bit more respectful than that. Oh, I've explained to you why it's called the clean room, yeah?
It's fine. I think he just wanted to lighten the conversation. We've been on a really hot topic for a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think it's just you and me on YouTube. I don't know about the others, so...
Yep.
Yeah, that's all good. I still haven't actually got this computer ready to play.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's starting to jump on Cyberpunk now, and I'm still not out of the character creation screen.
Because we're talking. Is that because we're talking? Right.
Yes, well, but no. Yes, but no. I can't really.
Right. So that is.
Um,
I don't even know where that came from.
I'm very picky when it comes to a character creation.
Yeah. I'm moving the cables over, and I've seen a USB cable. I don't even know where it goes. So I don't know if I need to change it over, or... It's not for that, but it comes all the way around here. I don't know where that cable's going. I honestly have no clue. Okay, that's for the mic, which is in the other computer, so it's not that one. Maybe it's just not plugged into anything. Yep, it's not plugged into anything. Right, well, I'll leave that cable where it is. Well, the next cable is this one. Goes up there. So I'm pretty sure that needs to go better. That one. I think that was the webcam. No, that's the webcam. Network. Come on. that should be all the cables I need moved over. Let's find out. Okay, so the stream started at 10:45, supposedly. It was meant to start at 10, actually. But, you know, me, punctuality, not exactly my strong suit. You just finished your character creation screen, have you? Is that what the alright was about?
Getting close. No, that was just a alright to hearing you that you got your stuff online now.
Oh, okay. Okay, gaming keyboard connecting to gaming computer. Laptop. Okay, laptop. Screens. Good to go. That mouse is over there. I forgot how low resolution that TV is. Damn it, I'm going to have to swap that TV out. That's alright, I'll do that later. This TV, I just realised that it's 720p. So, very, very low res. Anyway. So that is now good to go. It's definitely a positive air pressure machine. Alright, so now I need to change the layout. I'm sort of still going with the PC build. I've literally just connected everything over so that I can run stuff. A build was done. This is literally just connecting the cables. So, yeah. Okay, there's a delay there. That's for sure. Alright, let's turn the bulldozer webcam off. No. That one. That's the one I want. Which is not running because OBS is not running. Okay, that monitor is wrong way around. Wait, what resolution are you running at? This 32 inch, Jordan, was this 32 inch a 1080 or a 4K? Pretty sure it was just a 1080. Alright. Either way. Okay, let's make that 1920 by 1080. I don't see the need for anything else. Alright. Make this my main display. And then drag that over to the other window. No. Okay. Alright. The Alienware one. The Alienware one, 32 inch. Alright. Yeah, I'll just go to advanced display settings. That's not the one I wanted. Oh yeah, that's right. You run it from NVIDIA, don't you? Okay, let's run OBS. Here, GeForce. For real? Alright. So I just brought up the GeForce window, right? Because I need to get monitors 1 and 3 to duplicate each other. One slight problem. GeForce has decided to pop up on monitor 3. Which is not the one I can see. It's this one. Agree and continue. Wait. That should be my main monitor. Oh, stop doing that. Stop it. Alright. I have obsession on my stream. Okay, change resolution. 1080. Okay, Dell AW2518 HF. Which is native. Oh, that's why, because it was the... Yeah. Right. Okay, so they all... Can't make that 30. Which is annoying. Alright. I don't need to adjust colour settings. I need to... adjust desktop. That's not the one I want. I want set up multiple displays. There we go. Alright. So. That one needs to clone with number 2. And apply. Yes. No. Damn it. No, that's wrong. Clone with number 1. Extend. Stuff that up. You going, are you? Oh, fine. Leave then. Bye, Jordan. Alright. Now I've stuffed the resolutions up, so I've got to go back to that. Let's get rid of this. For some reason that has reverted to 4K. I don't want 4K. Thank you, Elgato, but no thank you. Yes, keep these changes. I said, did I say yes or no? Yeah, I said yes. Okay, set up multiple displays. Right, so the 2 and 1 are meant to clone. Alright, yes. Yes. And does it mouse? Yes, and the mouse moves across between the 2 appropriate things. As opposed to having to move the mouse around behind me. Alright.
Oh my god.
Speaking of which.
Sorry. I apologize.
No, I
That
was
slipped.
making a joke. I was literally making a joke. Speaking of which, I was tempted to say, so do you know your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? And I thought, yeah, I think you get the joke. But then you apologize, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to explain this one.
Yeah.
I have no problem being irreverent. As long as you recognize reverence, you can be as irreverent as you want. You've got to remember, Jesus was a Jew. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there are very few comedy clubs in the world where it is literally no holds barred, say what you want. Most of the places where those are the comedy clubs, the citizens have ties to places like Poland, World War II, like Jewish Poland. Like, that's why. 1, because they're Jews, and 2, because they've been through enough crap that nothing can faze them. It's like, dude, seriously, eat less cabbage or move to Auschwitz. Because either way, I've heard that joke when someone farts.
My little bit about me. My heritage is my not that anyone really wants to know, but grandfather was drafted into the Nazi regime. He was secretly Jewish, along with my family. Was captured, made a war prisoner, finally served his time helping the English army, and moved to Australia. My siblings and I and my aunts were all given Jewish names in honor of people who had died, and yeah, so we were bit of a rough history there. I used to cop a lot of flack when I was very young about being German, even though I have no connection to my history or no connection to my heritage. Once my grandfather migrated to Australia, he told my family and everyone to completely adopt the Australian lifestyle. We had no connection to Germany. He passed away before I was old enough to know him. He passed away when my father was 12, and basically told my family we don't speak German, we don't talk about Germany, we're going to fit in here, carve a life, we speak English now, and that was that. But I used to cop a lot of abuse from people growing up, based on what people thought they knew, and I've experienced firsthand the kind of racial discrimination Australia does often participate in. Not that it's anywhere close to what the First Nation people have experienced, but I sympathize to anyone who's been discriminated against.
I have an interesting take on that one, on the First Nations thing. But all right, I'm in.
Maybe
What was that?
Controversial. Maybe too controversial for today.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that one when we actually want to be banned. All right, I got to change my thing back on Trovo, so I don't get in trouble for being in chit chat and playing Cyberpunk. Alrighty. So go into promotion and say, so I'm actually done setting up the gaming rig now. So let's put let's play in bold. And I think I'll put that up on Twitter. How many people... Gosh, I'm getting a lot of Twitter followers, and I don't know where from. Okay, not that many. I had like over 100 people follow me this week.
Interesting.
Hey, Jonah. I think it might be from Player GG. Alright, new game. Let's do this. What do I want to do? What do we want to do, people? Right choice for players who just want to sit back and enjoy the story. Combat will not pose a challenge. Enemies will have all the tools at their disposal to take thee on, but primarily only enemies at a higher level will prove a challenge. Combat will be a substantial challenge. The effective use of perks, cyberware, combat gadgets, and consumables will be essential to survival. Buckle up for a serious challenge. Careful character development and clever use of items, game mechanics, and the environment will be necessary to help thee make it on the streets of Night City. What are you doing?
Me? I'm playing regular, like just the
Normal.
medium. Normal, yeah, playing normal. I'll bump it up to hard once I get a feel for the game and the mechanics, because I don't want to make... I fear that if I go super hard right now, it'll
burn you.
Yeah, I'll make mistakes and I'll put points in the wrong thing or get stats, or if I make a mistake, it's gonna hurt. So I want to get a feel for the game, but I don't want it to be too easy.
Roaming the Badlands, looting scrapyards, raiding fuel depots. Life on the road. Hang on. It's Cyberpunk, isn't American. Roaming the Badlands, looting scrapyards, raiding fuel depots. Life on the road wasn't easy. But growing up... Actually, no. That looks Mad Max-ish, so it should be in an Australian accent. Roaming the Badlands, shooting scrapyards, raiding fuel depots. Life on the road wasn't easy. But growing up in a nomad clan has its perks. Honesty, integrity, and a love of freedom. Qualities that few in Night City possess, and no amount of money can buy. That's your Mad Max accent. Now, they say if you want to understand the streets, you gotta live them. Gangs, fixers, dolls, small-time pushers. You were raised by them all. Down here, the law of the jungle dictates the weak serve the strong. Only the law in Night City. No, the only law in Night City you have yet to break. And then, few leave the corporate world with their lives. Fewer still with their souls intact. You've been there. You've bent the rules, exploited secrets, and weaponized information. There's no such thing as a fair game. Only winners and losers. Which one? What should I do? By the way, bye Keith. Thank you for joining us. I understand, no spoilers, meaning can't watch. But I appreciate your loyalty to watch up until that point. I hope the conversation we had wasn't too confrontational for you. He and I
Surely not.
have a tendency to have to avoid political conversations. 'Cause...
We do waffle.
Oh no, as in when he and I have political conversations, we kind of have to just go, alright, we're shutting this one down before one of us has a conniption. So, I don't know. Nomad, I think.
I went corporate, but I think you should do whatever. Like it's.
What
I
made you
think
choose
it's
corporate?
kind of because that kind of fits me and my personality. I do a lot of social networking. I'm usually at conferences and things all day. I like to test my actual, like, you know, being kind of more like high-end kind of yakuza. I've always wanted to experience what that's like. A bit of manipulation and stuff like, and corporate sabotage, things like that. Would be interesting to me. I've played a lot of urban games and like Wastelands. I've done Borderlands and things. Although I loved them, this is presenting a new challenge, which is the corporation, which is something I've never seen in a game to play before without it being a text-based game. So I'm interested to see how that rolls. I imagine others who really like, if you really love Borderlands, probably go Wastelands. If you
it's
like,
not that I love Borderlands. It's just that Nomad one is the one that seems most like me, because the whole conversation about Christianity and morality. It's like the middle one, raised by them all. Law of the jungle dictates the only law you don't break is the law of the jungle, and that's like no. Whereas the corporate one, that whole thing of there's no such thing as fair game. Do whatever you can and sacrifice your soul to doing it. I just read that and went, no. So I'm thinking Nomad because honesty, integrity, and freedom.
Go for it. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about this choice. I really like that. It not only dictates how you're going to, like, you know, how you're.
Although I do feel kind of like the thing is that like the way they've worded it, they've implied that the Nomad's the only one with moral backbone.
I think you'll find that you get to choose your path.
Yeah,
regardless.
But in the description, I'm like, I'm not sure. I mean, like, it's not. I'm not comfortable, but I'm just like, that's they probably. I don't know. I think they did that on purpose.
Just to be the humble underdog. You know, you've lived the rough life.
Yeah.
You're out to help people, kind of thing. You're just surviving with others. There's no greed involved, etc., etc.
But you could have been a corpo who turned their back on the corpo, but they didn't leave that window open. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what kind of choices I'm presented with and what I'm given to work with. but it's also about the environment you play in. If you don't like wandering in and out of offices having conversations, probably don't go corpo, because that seems to be implying what a lot of the gameplay is going to be, is trying to have dialogue. If you just want to scrap around and loot and shoot, yeah, absolutely wastelands. I imagine you have to have a little bit of tact for if you're doing the streets, because you've got to do a bit of both. You've got to be both conversational, social, but you've also got to have combat. I think it's going to be rough. You know, it's a bit of both, kind of ideal. It seems to also be kind of the tier of like it's kind of like your social class, the lower class, middle class, or higher class, upper class. You know?
Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, let's do this. Okay. Skin tone. Let's match made. Wait, what? What's this? Oh, I see. Skin type. Oh, I see. Whether you have smooth skin or... whether you have makeup on. What's one? I'll go with the one, yeah. Alright, hairstyle. Oh, wait, I should change that to... Okay, what's with the audio? That's why. Okay, so I need to start. Copy that. And actually, you know what? Let's just paste reference. If I change this. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Wrong thing. I want to add an NDI source. And then I'm going to create a folder. PC feed. Move the folder down there. You use Streamlabs, don't you?
No.
No?
I just use baseline OBS.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still having this issue. I just updated my software, sorry, my operating system, and it's using the full network capacity. It's kind of weird. Never done that before.
And what's using the network system?
OBS NDI.
That's interesting.
Okay, skin type, hairstyle, not that hair. No.
Which is odd because it's not actually transmitting anything. It's transmitting a static image. I have nothing going over, no sound. No.
What do you think? Does that look like my hair? I need that smaller. Okay, copy.
Might have to.
Might have to what?
Yeah, never mind. It's alright. Straight thought.
Alright. That's good. Okay. So what do you think? Does that match my hair? I can't hear you if I take the headphones off, can I? There we go. Does that match my hair now? If I... That looks pretty similar, doesn't it? What do you think, Husey?
What's that?
My hair in the game.
I don't. I
Does it
haven't been
match
able to get real streams.
Really? On YouTube?
I don't have them on Twitch.
No, not on Twitch, on YouTube.
Oh, there you do have a link. I didn't see it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Yeah, yeah, it looks pretty close, man.
The eyes are a bit off, though, aren't they?
It's
See?
yeah, maybe you just want them a little bit squintier. No offense.
Maybe a little bit less mesh.
Actually, no, it looks alright.
What's actually changing with eyes? Oh, it's the actual
Eyes
the
changes
sinkhole.
like the actual,
the actual
physicality of it.
what do they call it?
The iris.
No, the around your eye, the structure of your face around your eye. What's that called?
Yeah. Eye bone. Eye socket.
Socket. That's it. Alright. So, what does mine look like?
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty accurate.
We're gonna go to not that one. That one, so I can see properly. Create it. That's what I can do. Right, new source.
Well, I've just started the game, so I'm at first dialogue now.
So I need to be quiet.
I'm gonna maybe meet you for a second.
Cool. 076. 076. And that would be 324. 324. Right now. What? Oh, because they overlap. And then, what was it? Wrong mouse. 108 times 4.5, 486. Alright, there we go. Alright. Now. Let's go right there. So now we'll come back over here. And we'll go to eyes. I'm literally trying to match my eye with that. So I've got to be a little bit more side on. The lighting's not the same. Hang on. It's hard to match it when the lighting's different, but I'll do my best. Okay, so there we go, that's the right spot. So I don't know, which one looks the most like me? No. No. Not 8. Not 9. Not 12. How many are there? No. That looks alright. Eyebrow ridge is a bit big, but that looks okay. So we got 3. Nope. 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 Oh wait, what was that one? 12? No. 3 is the leading contender at the moment. No. Weird eyelids. Three it is. Dude, I've been awake for hours. I only slept for 3. I mean, not including the falling asleep, waking up, and falling asleep and waking up always happening this morning while you were watching. But, yeah. Love heart eyes. Ooh. How weird it would be if you could just go back and forth, but like have that while you're talking to someone, just have your eyes do that. That would mess them up. Look into my eyes. Oh, you were talking to yourself in stream with me. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I can just... I think... No. I'm just gonna go natural, which would be that. Yep. Really? That's all I had to do? Alright, eye colour's done. Eyebrows. What does that get us? No. No. Yeah. Here's my eyebrow. Looks like sand dunes, my eyebrows. Like windswept sand dunes. No, stop it, I'll just go with that one. Eyebrow colour. I'm not grey yet. Nope. Ooh. There we go. News, the schnooze. The news. Well, I have a Jewish nose, so let's make it as big as possible. I'm thinking that one looks pretty good. Except that the tip's broader, see? Number 2. Now the mouth. I don't even see. Oh, no. Not much much in it, really. The pout. 18. Remember number 18, people. Yep, we're going with 18. Alright. No, back. Jawline. Okay, let's get rid of the beard first. Actually. Alright, let's start with the jawline. Okay, so. That looks like me. Maybe a 4. I'm on a 4. Alright, oh, those chat windows have gone. Dang it. Alright. So, jaw's done. Now the ears. No, I'll go with the normal ear. Do it pre-selected. Oh wait, hang on. There's my ear. Oh, stop it. That's good enough. No. Nope. 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 I've gone through them all. Yeah. That one. Now my beard can become ranger sometimes, so there we go. Cyberware. This is where it gets interesting. No. Where's the cyberware in that? Oh, it's off, that's why. Yeah, let's go with 1.
turn it off. Oh, I'm yawning. Facial tattoos. No tattoos. Piercings. No piercings. Teeth. I am not having gold teeth. Redskins. Right. Done. Teeth, no teeth. Is that just regular teeth? There you go. Good. Eye makeup. Ah, yes, off. Lip makeup, finally get rid of that. Cheap makeup, no makeup at all. No blemishes. Okay, nails. Alright, I can get rid of that one now. Alright. There we go. This shows the nail colour. It's plain. It's a pity you can't do like different nails, different lengths. See how I got long pinky, but the others are short. Neepers. Has he had them removed? Does it say AWOL and proud? Off.
How's your game going?
It's alright. I'm choosing the size of my package.
Quite a conundrum.
Yeah, big doesn't look that big. I'm serious. Like, I'm looking at it going, really? Are they trying to just like make every guy who plays this game feel well endowed?
No, it's pretty accurate averages, speaking from experience.
Alright.
Remember, it gets bigger.
Yeah, alright. I'm not having a landing strip.
Okay, you trying to say you got the big dick energy, huh?
No, I'm just saying it looked small to me. I was asking if that was... Oh no, pee-pee on stream!
Expecting some porn star
Let's
energy
go up
here.
here. Alright. Oh, so there are scenes where you're naked and they're deciding whether you're going to be shown naked or not. Is that what the thing is? So you can just choose boxes.
It's R18. Yeah, so if you want it to be PG, you can just choose boxes.
Right, then no pee-pee on stream.
Each attribute contains a set of skills. Both attributes and skills provide different bonuses depending on your style of play. Skill levels increase as you perform body determines raw physical power.
This has become very interesting. I'm in the first 5 minutes and I'm already having to take notes. Being corporate. It's pretty meticulous.
Yeah. No wonder it took so freaking long. So that meticulous with it, eh?
Yeah, you forget. I was like immediately bombarded with a ton of complex missions, reports, and things. They throw you in really high up the ladder.
Right, well, I'm definitely going to add one to that. Here we go. Yeah, I'm alright with that. Did you notice, Darren? Alright. Okay. So, I just sat at this loading screen for the last 3 minutes because I fell asleep. It looks like my all-nighter has caught up to me. So, I am going to end the stream here. I didn't give myself a six-pack. They didn't have Podge as one of the options, did they? Oops. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream here. Going to go have a nap. And then I'm going to actually play the game.
Have a good nap, mate. Catch you later.
I'll be back in an hour or so. Have some breakfast / lunch. Because Tic Tacs only get you so far. And then, so, I will be back, people. Thank you to those who joined. Down below. Down there. Or also top there. Up there. Or even just there. Or above. Check them out. That one will tell you. When I'm next streaming. Wolfling366 on Twitter. This one is me on Twitch. That's the one that Husey thought I was on for the first hour. Whenever I said I was on, and he was saying, "No, you're not," but I am sometimes on there. And then that one is Facebook, so I'm on there now. And when I'm on that, I'm also on that and that and that. So Wolfling at Play, Wolfling366, Wolfling366. But that one's Wolfling 0 because I need more subscribers. So if you like what I'm doing, hit the like, the subscribe, the share, the comment, the follow, the notification bell. And if you really want to help me find other people to subscribe. Once I get that 100 subscribers, I can make that Wolfling 366 as well. Once I get 1,000 subscribers, I can actually earn some money, and then I can do more streaming, unless, you know, I need to chuff off and put up signs and drive food and stuff like that, and have chats about things and stuff and that. But until then, my narcoleptic brain needs to unconscious itself for an hour and a half. So I will be back after that. Until then, take care. And oh wait, hang on. I've got to do it. I've got to do this right. No. Damn it. Where is... Oh, it's on the other computer. Dang it. Yeah. Hang on, I got to do this properly. Yes. Where is it? Dang it. B-E-A-U-T. Okay, it's that one. No. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Ah, there we go. Open file location. Copy them. So there. And go into there. Copy them. And paste them there. Nah. Alright, so this should work now. Yes, it's working. So like I said, I'll be back 90 minutes to 2 hours, 90 minutes to 120 minutes. That's when I'll be back. Until then, take care.